Good evening, everybody, and welcome to high school football action on Geauga Local Access Cable Corporation's GTV. We present Chardon Hilltopper football tonight. It's the Chardon Hilltoppers taking on the Madison Blue Streaks. Tonight we come to you from Madison, and this is a big ball game. Both teams with playoff aspirations, and this game is not an end-all to their aspirations should one of these teams, well, one of these teams will lose tonight, but it sure will propel whoever does get the win a little bit further into that playoff hunt. Joining me tonight is Ray Malavic, and Ray, we've been looking forward to this ball game all week, and this really should be a dandy, huh?
It really should, Craig. You know, when you get this late in the season, you know, weeks 8, 9, 10 in the postseason, you worry about the weather. And right now, I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better night for football. It's crisp. It's going to get down into the low 40s, maybe high 30s, but little or no wind. And that's always a big factor. But, you know, it's not really a factor when these two teams meet because based on past performance, neither of them going to put the ball in the air too much. It's going to be smash mouth football from opening gun to final gun.
Yeah, don't go anywhere because you're going to miss about a half a quarter just by going to the fridge tonight, because these teams do keep it on the ground, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about some of the individuals coming up in just a little while. But Chardon Hilltoppers making their way onto the field down below. They are currently 6th in their region. Madison is 4th. A lot of points at stake tonight here, Ray, and especially for the Chardon Hilltoppers. A win tonight would propel them into the top 4. If they can win both of these games, they're almost assured of a home game. So tonight, they got to bite off a little bit first, but it's a big task tonight against this Madison Blue Streak team.
Oh, it sure is. Madison 9-1 last year, of course, 7-1 currently, and only 2 losses in about 2 full years. So they got a real good tradition here going under head coach Tim Willis, but of course Chardon tradition bound with football. State championship not too many years back.
1994, I was there.
Runner-up in 98, so of course those were under Coach Bob Doyle. But speaking of Bob Doyle, there's a Bobby Doyle on the roster now. And that's
there is.
Bob's son. You know, you talked about a big game. You know, a lot of times that those 2 words are overused a lot, but you know what's really at stake here too, and I'm sure both coaches will admit to this, the championship of the league. You know, the PAC. Almost every coach says, look, we shoot for the league title first, and then we get into the postseason. It's a new start, see how far we go. Well, both come in undefeated. Now the oddity is Madison, this is their final game in the league, whereas Chardon has to finish up at home next Friday against Willoughby South, another PAC team. South's coming, you know, falling on some hard times after a good start, but still a solid team. So the winner of this is going to definitely be a part of the PAC championship for this year, and like you say, he's going to give them a lot of points and secure that playoff spot.
And really, Jim DePofi and his staff finally looking at a team that's starting to healthy up a little bit here at Chardon. Matt Smith's been nicked up. Jared Polburn was out for a while. Ben Robinson was out for a while. All guys in your skill positions, and also guys that are big on defense as well, and special teams too. Now they're back, and they're hoping that they can continue on and stay healthy through the rest of it. We will see John Bell, the quarterback, playing some defensive back tonight. We'll see John Bell possibly back on some kicks tonight as well, just because they have this is almost a must-win ball game. They need to put that out. The one person that we should mention is a fellow that's not in the lineup and won't be in the lineup and hasn't been in the lineup, and that's Big David White, 6'2", 290-pound junior who had a fabulous sophomore year last year on the line for Chardon. Is out for this. You know, he's out, and he will be out. And you talk about trying to overcome somebody like that, one of the anchors of the line. So the Chardon Hilltoppers hoping to keep things rolling here tonight. They've had 2 losses, both hugely lopsided, but other than that, they've been playing some dynamite football. Adam Parker set to kick off for the Hilltoppers, and going back deep for the Madison Blue Streaks, Dan Nebraski and also Joe McFarland. And get used to those names tonight, gang, because you're going to hear it a lot. Parker gets it off and kicks it to the far sideline, and that's McFarland. McFarland breaking a tackle across the 20, and down he goes at the 23-yard line. Nice tackle there by the Hilltoppers, and that was Rob Thompson. Taking a look at the offensive unit for the Madison Blue Streaks up front, left to right, Dan Gunn, Russell Golding, Ross Chasko, Tim Reed, and Shane Brennan. The tight end is Joe Franzik. Wide out, we'll see Dan Nebraski and also Tim Lemazny. In the backfield, Joe McFarland and Dylan Morris. And the quarterback is a 5'10", 185-pound senior, Joe Deek. Joe Deek on the season has thrown for 616 yards through the first 8 games, and you're thinking that's not a lot, but wait till we flip things over to quarterback John Bell. We'll give you some numbers. So the I formation And that's Morris as the up back. Coming in motion is Josh McFarland, and we've got flags already on the first play from scrimmage. While we've got a chance, let's look at that Hilltopper defense. Greg McCoskey, Thomas Ivins, Gary Schussler, and Rob Thompson up front. It is Matt Smith, Corey Comertz, and Jeff Jernasik as the linebackers. Alex Pavlik, Jared Polburn, Ben Robinson. John Bell is out there to start the ball game. So that is the way the Hilltoppers will line up. It's a first down and 15 now as they make McFarland the lone setback. That's who gets the carry, and not much doing up front of that Chardon defensive line. Nice stop there, gain of about a yard or so, brings up second down and 14.
Well, one thing, we got two good offensive lines here in the ball game. Needless to say, both of these teams have excelled this year, and you usually start with the line play. And one big difference, though, Madison much bigger on that offensive line than Chardon's defensive front, and we'll see if that might be a factor, especially as this game wears on a bit. But again, as Craig mentioned earlier, not much of a passing game for either of these teams by design. Both of these quarterbacks can throw the ball, they just don't regularly do it.
That is Deke on the keeper, and he gets across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Gain of almost 5 there. That'll bring up a third down and about 8 yards to go for the Blue Streaks.
You know, Joe Deke coming into this ball game had rushed 72 times for 300 yards even. It's an average of about 4.1 a game. One thing of note, though, Craig, he's coughed up the ball 11 times, really only lost one of them.
Yeah.
So his teammates have helped him out quite a bit there, and he's fallen on a few himself.
Dylan Morris will be the lone setback, and a flag flies, and I think we've got somebody lined up in the neutral zone. It won't be a first down if it's against the Hilltoppers. And it is the offensive unit of the Madison Blue Streaks that line up off sides. Yikes. Back to the 19 it goes.
You might have a little case of butterflies here in the early go, knowing the importance of this game. I'm sure that's a factor, because game 9, you know, 9th week, you don't usually see that happening.
Right. It is a beautiful night for football, as Ray said. The sun is pretty much set. The lights have taken full effect here. Joe Deke, though, decides that he needs to talk this over on a third down and 13 already with only 10:25 to go in the first quarter. They're looking for a timeout already. Let's talk a little bit about this Madison, or you want to we'll talk about Madison first and the season that they've put together. As you said, 7-1 and 3-0 in the pack, but they've had some pretty good ball games themselves this season.
You know, they really have. They started the year with 3 quick wins over John Marshall, Geneva, and Edgewood, really only giving up 15 points in those first 3. And then their lone loss of the season was to Lake Catholic, and that was a heck of a ball game. The Cougars beat them by 7, 29-22.
And that was a week for Lake Catholic that they were coming off a thumping by Benedictine, and you didn't know what you were getting from Lake Catholic that night. And Madison gave them all they wanted, but Lake Catholic, their only loss was to Benny, and they were able to get by tonight. And you know for sure Lake Catholic, they are rooting for Madison like crazy tonight.
Well, you know, I see a lot of similarity between the Lake Catholic season and the Madison season, because, you know, Lake, as you said, after that bad thumping by Benedictine, they've gone on to win 5 straight going into this weekend's games. And after Lake beat Madison, Madison has gone on to beat Lakeside South, Riverside, and North. So very similar type schedules and victories.
Deke to throw on a third down and 13. He lets it fly. He's looking downfield, and that is caught by Dan Nebraski in Chardon territory down at the 49-yard line, and that's a first down. Boy, that really had a lot of air under it. That looked like a candidate for an interception, but Nebraska won the jump ball, and the Blue Streaks moved the sticks.
You know, Craig, you said in our opening that Dan Nebraska, you're going to hear that name a lot tonight, and I'm sure you are. He does just about everything. Punt return, kick return, catches the ball, runs the ball. You know, he has 12 touchdowns on the season, 9 rush and 3 pass receiving. And, you know, it's just like that. We talk about a game that maybe isn't going to feature the pass that much, and the quarterback Deke goes on a pretty deep route to Nebraska.
Well, that's his 34th completion of the year. 16 of those have been to Nebraska, who takes the handoff and goes over the right side for a gain of a yard or so. But yeah, almost half the passes to that running back, Nebraska. So gave him a gain of 2 on the play. It'll be a second down and 8.
What I like about him too, Craig, is he comes out of the backfield. He doesn't run those short routes, the screens, and he pretty much goes deep like a wide receiver. So he's kind of a combination running back and wide out. As you mentioned, a junior, 5'11", 180 pounds, 12 TDs on the season. He also got a 2-point conversion in there, a couple of them. 76 points on the season for Dan Nebraski.
Nate Mix into the mix now. He's one of the wideouts, and they pitch it to Nebraski. He cuts it back and gets hit by Smith, and down he goes for a loss of 2, and a flag comes in, probably a hold, but Matt Smith doing what he does best, and that's plug holes of that Chardon defense, and there's a loss, and it'll be a 3rd down and 11, or they'll give him the down back, maybe, Ray, and make it, they'll actually, from where the spot of the foul is, it'll be about a 13-yard penalty if they take it, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Well, all the flags have gone against Madison so far in this early in the first quarter. You know, you just mentioned Matt Smith. Boy, what a player he is, both offensively and defensively. Never forget the game he had earlier in the year when Chardon beat Eastlake North in a game that a lot of people thought was going to be a close game. It turned out to be a blowout. Matt Smith scored 2 touchdowns in 8 seconds, 1 on O and 1 on D.
Yep. They're going to send Nebraska wide to the far side. There's another flag. Another false start against Madison. Now, Madison, coming into today's game, penalized 312 yards over the first 8 games. So that's almost 40 yards a ball game.
And they're getting close here in the first quarter.
They sure are. It is 2nd down, and it looks to be about 23, I guess.
Well, they really had moved that ball,
at 27.
You know, downfield, and now they're starting almost back where they began.
They're back at their 35. They need to get to Chardon's 39 for a 1st down. Deke being chased. Now he's going to run it, and he goes down. Not much doing there. John Bell came up. Actually, that was Corey Comertz, number 42, that came up to make the play. Not much of a gain there, maybe a yard on that, and 3rd down and a country mile.
Boy, Corey Comertz, the linebacker, been in a lot of tackles this year, about 106 on the season. Total tackles, also had a sack from that linebacking position. We've got some good linebackers in Smith, Jernasik, Renzi, Comertz.
They'll split Nebraska to the near side. Only Morris in the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Deke to throw. Fires it up. That's a wobbly one. Bell is there. He knocks it away. Incomplete. Nebraska, the intended receiver. And a 4th down and a punting situation coming up for the Blue Streaks.
Well, Jim DePofi elected to put John Bell in that defensive backfield to strengthen things, and he made a real good play there. It was really tight coverage on the receiver, but no interference. So for once, at least, we didn't see a yellow flag here in the first period.
Ben Robinson will stand back at his 30. Hilltoppers happy to have Ben relatively healthy and back in the lineup. Tim Lamanzi shanks it. That's going to bounce at midfield and take a Madison bounce to the Chardon 47-yard line. So with 7:39 to go here in the first quarter, the Hilltoppers will get the football for the first time. And up front, Ryan Dornan, Rob Thompson, Greg McCoskey, Matt Hochberg, and Gary Schussler. See Kyle Abram is one of the wideouts. Matt Smith in the backfield. Jared Polburn, Ben Robinson, the wingbacks, and John Bell, a 6'1", 180-pound junior quarterback, will lead the Hilltoppers out here. They've got the ball in excellent field position, and for the first 4.5 minutes of the ball game so far, not much has gone right for the Madison Blue Streaks, and we'll see if Chardon can capitalize on that as they have a late arrival into the huddle for the Blue Streaks. And they've got to take a timeout. Chardon does, because Jeff Jernasik was a little late getting into the game, and don't think they had a tight end in there.
Well, I don't think either of the fans here. We've got a great crowd on hand for this game, that's for sure, both Chardon side and Madison side. Neither of these fans rooting for their favorite team thought we'd get any kind of a start like this. It's been a lot of flags in the first couple of minutes of play. You know, that drive, although it didn't really get Madison anywhere on the field, you know, toward any scoring possibilities, it used up a lot of time there. But the penalties just kept setting them back. You know, John Bell, you talked about him at the quarterback, and you know, when you look at his numbers rushing the football, you'd swear he's a tailback. You know, he's rushed the ball 99 times for 674 yards. That puts him among the area leaders in running backs, you know. So he certainly runs by design, as does his counterpart on the other side of the football, Joe Deke. But he's a threat to run at any time.
There's the double wing formation. Nobody in the backfield. That's Robinson in motion. He takes it on the jet sweep around the far side. He gets into Madison territory to the 49-yard line, and that's a gain of 3 yards or so. The Madison defense up front, it's a 4-3. Dan Gunn, Jeff Dodd, Craig Walker, and Tim Reed. Tim Lemansny, Aaron West, and Dylan Morris are the linebackers. Joe McFarland, Dave Bowens, Jared Spada, and Dan Nebraski in the defensive backfield. We'll give him a gain of 4 on that play. It's 2nd down and 6. Smith will now go in the backfield behind John Bell. John Bell, a guy that has matured very well this season for the Hilltoppers, hands the ball off to Smith, weaves his way across the 40, stays on his feet, 30. Foot races on, he's got Nebraska to beat, gets around him, McFarland hanging on, and down at the 5-yard line goes Smith. Huge gain for the Chardon Hilltoppers. They've got it all the way down to the 5-yard line, and that's a 1st down.
Well, first big play of the game. Big time breakthrough there, and once he got in the clear, it was off to the races, but he was caught from behind at the 5, actually about the 6-yard line. And Chardon's got the first golden opportunity to put some points on the board here.
Matt Smith, 663 yards on the ground so far this season. 10 touchdowns. He again is a lone setback. That's Robinson again in motion. Check that. That's Polburn. And he will get inside the 5 to about the 3. Got half of what they needed for the end zone. Clock is still running. 6:20 to go here in the first quarter. Got some beef coming in for Madison. Dan Gunn will check back into the game. And it looked like Adam Fowler was coming in as well.
When you look at that front 4 on defense for the Blue Streaks, the small guy is 230, Craig Walker. You got Dodd at 240, Gunn at 270, and Reed at 265.
Smith, again the lone setback. It's a 2nd down and goal. Right side and into the end zone for a touchdown. Chardon has broken out on top. Jared Polburn goes into the end zone from 3 yards out, and the Chardon Hilltoppers lead it by a score of 6-0. Boy, that is 2 very different approaches on offense, with Chardon almost flawless and Madison just hadn't a time trying to get things done in their first drive. Adam Parker in the attempt to point after, where he's 24-26, and that's a low line driver, and that is good. So with 5:50 to go here in the opening quarter, it's the Chardon Hilltoppers 7, the Madison Blue Streaks nothing. That's a great start for the Toppers.
Sure was. You know, Jared Polburn out of that wingback spot in the wing T offense just scored his 3rd touchdown of the year. Been used both as a receiver and a running back. Came in tonight with over 100 yards, making 112, and just picked up a big 6 points right there. And then with Parker adding the extra point, Chardon has drawn first blood here at 7-0. And you know, that's when you got your back against the wall, that I think Chardon has maybe just a little bit more than Madison in a must-win situation. Really important, I think, to get those first points on the board. And as you correctly called it, it wasn't that they scored easily, which they did, but they were flawless. Whereas Madison kept the ball for almost 5 minutes in that first drive and virtually stubbed their toe on every play they ran, except for one long pass play.
That was about a 2-minute drive for the Chardon Hilltoppers. 5:50 to go. It's 7-0. Adam Parker will come in to kick off again. McFarland goes back deep. He'll be back there with Nebraska. Got our statistician that follows Ray and I around on the radio each week, Bill Tilton from the News Herald. You can read Bill Tilton's account in the newspaper. Also Mark Kessner alongside from the News Herald as well tonight.
Well, that was a 4-play drive. Took only 1:49, could cover 53 yards. Touchdown by Polburn, extra point by Parker, 7-0 Hilltoppers.
That's a line drive picked up by Walker. And Walker comes across the 25 to the 27. Had a chance to talk to Craig Walker's father in the stands today. Mighty Mel Walker. 1st down and 10. They will spot the football at the 27-yard line. It's the first look on television for me this season for the Chardon Hilltoppers. It's great to be back on GTV with Hilltopper football, and hopefully be joining you for the playoffs as well. They'll go full house now behind Deke. It's a 1st down and 10 on their own 28-yard line. Nebraska bounces outside, tries to get around Polburn. Nice ankle tackle by Jared Polburn. Brings him down at the 30-yard line for only a gain of about 2.5 or maybe 3, depending on the spot.
Boy, you got a real solid trio of running backs, and we include Deke in there, the quarterback. You know, you got Nebraska with 614 on the season, McFarland with 569, and Deke with an even 300. You know, that's almost 1,500 yards rushing among 3 players. Got to go a long way to find a team with that kind of balance and that kind of, you know, big-time numbers with 3 different runners.
Again, they go full house with double tight ends. They hand the ball off to Nebraska. He breaks the tackle to the 35. Down he goes as a flag flies. Another flag comes flying in. And that's either a face mask or a hold. Joe McFarland was out there trying to do some blocking, but we'll see what the call is. Smith was slapping himself in the head with his hands, thinking maybe he got a piece of that face mask, so we'll see what the call is. It is a face mask against the Hilltoppers. That will tack on to that play. It was going to be close to a first down anyway. They'll march it off a 5-yard variety. That'll take it up to the 44-yard line, and that will be a first down for the Blue Streaks.
That 5-yard variety, the kind that's really not blatant. Accidental contact, I guess you could say, but he still grabbed the face mask and helped bring him down. So nice pickup of an extra 5 there on the penalty.
Again, full house this time. McFarland, man, he got stuffed. Jeff Jernasik led the way. Also for the Hilltoppers. Number 51 looked like he was in on the play as well, Rob Thompson. Gain of a yard on the play, and that was a tough yard for McFarland.
You know, McFarland, 7 touchdowns rushing. We already said Nebraska 9.
Nebraska up the middle. He's hit again. Rob Thompson making initial contact down there.
A gain of 2.
2 more tough yards up the middle for this Blue Streak offense, and the Chardon defense very, very tough against the run so far tonight.
And we mentioned the final games coming up for Chardon. It's going to be a home game against Willoughby South to round out the season and the PAC schedule. Madison, this completes their PAC schedule with this game tonight. They'll be playing at home next week against Villa Angela St. Joseph. A big game for both teams depending on what happens this weekend.
You got that right. 3rd down, we'll call it 8, and a second timeout is going to be called by the Madison Blue Streaks. 3 timeouts already we've seen called here in the first quarter. But they didn't like what they saw and decided to think twice about it. Out onto the field is Dave Boers, the defensive coordinator for the Chardon Hilltoppers.
And one thing, Craig, I think it's quite obvious here as we get under 4 minutes now in the first period, and that's Chardon seems to be much more poised in this game. Big game of importance, as we talked about, not only the championship of the PAC on the line, but very, very big points for the computer rankings to see who's going to secure their spot in the playoffs. You mentioned that Madison comes in as the number 4 team in Division II Region 5, and just 2 notches below them, Chardon as the number 6 team in Division II Region 5. So a win by Chardon will push them up above Madison.
And what you're looking at is Nordonia, Warren, Howland, Maple Heights, and Madison as the top 4. Copley, Chardon, Padua, and Akron-Garfield as the bottom 4. Deke rolls out on a 3rd and 8. Fires, incomplete. And here comes a flag. Oh, I didn't think that was a catchable ball. And Josh McFarland was the intended receiver, and that'll be a pass interference call.
Well, it's strange, you know, the first 3, 4 flags all went against Madison, and now the last couple of flags have gone against Chardon. That one's going to be a big one because it is the pass interference call. They're going to tack up some big yardage here. They're going to put the ball inside the 40 at about the 39-yard line.
It's a spot, or it's not a spot foul in high school ball. They take it from the line of scrimmage. So it's a 1st down and 10. Clock is sitting still at 3:37 to go here in the first quarter. He fumbled the snap, picks it up, and is able to pick up a couple yards before he is stood up. Like Ben Robinson making the initial play.
Tackle by Robinson.
We talked about Deke having trouble with the football. He's fumbled 11, make it 12 times now. But
That's
again,
probably where it's happening, right at the center
has
snap.
only lost one of those, and of course he didn't lose that one either. But you know, sooner or later, you get up in those dozen or more fumble numbers, you're going to lose a couple. Under 3 minutes now. First quarter moving along fairly quickly here.
Showing blitz, here they come. They hand the ball to Nebraska. Boy, he got stuck. Nice defensive effort there. That was Corey Colmertz again. Boy, he just put a helmet right between the numbers and drove him backwards.
We talked about the weight differential. You know, Madison much bigger up front than Chardon, but Chardon's got great quickness. And as you saw right there, I bet you don't see Nebraska get stood up that much throughout the whole season. But Chardon's fired up in this early go, and that's why they probably got that 7-0 advantage right now. But Madison with a good-looking drive here if they can stay away from those yellow flags.
Now, this trio of linebackers that Chardon has, very, very talented as Deke rolls out. Drilled as he throws, and the pass is caught. That's Josh McFarland. He is down to the 20-yard line, and that will be close. That will be a first down, as he will be spotted just outside the 20 to 21. And I tell you what, Deke got leveled as soon as he let that ball go.
Josh McFarland, a 6'2", 175-pound junior, made a nice catch and picked up a few extra yards.
10th catch of the year.
Almost inside the red zone now at about almost the 20-yard line for Madison as they try to equal this game up before the end of the first period.
Deke to throw, looking into the corner of the end zone, incomplete. Tim Lamazny was the intended receiver. Well thrown ball, but just a little overthrown. Bell was back there, and also Robinson on the coverage, second down.
We have 2nd and 10.
Stops the clock with 1:43 to go here in the first quarter. Chardon on the board first at 7-0.
We talked about some of the teams that, and we ran through the top 8 trying to get into the playoffs in that Division II Region 5. Talmadge comes in. They're 4-4, but they're 9th. Berea, Garfield Heights 6-2, and Twinsburg 3-5, and they're 12th. How about that? Deke rolls out, being chased by Jernasik, almost got him. Now he's grabbed. Flags fly. Deke dumps it. That's Dylan Morris. Morris catches it at the 15-yard line. Oh, no, that's Lamazny, number 4. Seeing double. Thought that was 44. But we got flags all over the place. Jeff Jernasik almost had a big loss on the quarterback, and a face mask is called against Chardon.
Second one on this drive alone. Let's see if this is the bigger one. Last time was that 5-yard incidental grabbing of the mask.
McCoskey was the man who almost got to Deke after Jernasik couldn't.
Boy, maybe the penalties are catching, you know. I mean,
man.
Chardon caught it because Madison came out with 3 or 4 flags within the first drive. They've settled down a bit. Now Chardon 3 or 4 flags during this drive. So it's kind of gone the other way as far as penalties are concerned.
Smith and Deke both in that little huddle with the officials. You'll see exactly what they're going to call. A face mask will be the call against Chardon. And they will take it from, instead of taking the 5 yards after the reception, they will take the 5 yards on the penalty. And Chardon's going to take another timeout. Have you ever seen anything like this in the first quarter of a game where both teams have taken 2 timeouts?
Well, hopefully neither team's going to need it as the first half runs out here. Another 12 or 13 minutes. But like I say, I think both teams awful jittery here. You know, they realize the importance of this game, and they just haven't been clicking on all cylinders here, at least so far in this game. But 2 fine teams that I'm sure are going to settle down. And that's the job of Tim Willis, the head coach of the Madison Blue Streaks, and of course Jim DePofai from Chardon. Jim DePofai is in his 3rd year as head coach. He's been around for a while, over 20 years, I believe, out of school. Tim Willis in his 4th year being a head coach out of Madison. Former head coach they're doing a whale of a job over at Benedictine, and they have certainly the #1 team in their division. And that's a wild division, huh, with Lake Catholic in there.
Followed Art Bortnick, who went to Benedict.
That's right. You got Lake Catholic in there. You got West Geauga in there.
That's a really good football team.
Akron, Hovind. Holy cow, that's going to be a real meat grinder, as they say, once the playoffs start in Akron.
Can't wait for the playoffs, and we're hoping the Toppers are part of that. Second down and a long 5. Dylan Morris barrels his way inside the 10 to the 9, and that's a first down. That'll move the chains and bring up a first down and goal now for the Blue Streaks.
Nice run there. Big first down. First down and goal. Minute 26 to go here in the period, and as we say, Madison's trying to even his things up after one quarter, and they sure look good now with the ball spotted at the 9.
They'll run. Franzik is tight at left end with that full house backfield. Middleman again, that's Morris. Dragged by the shirt, got about a yard before he spun around and dropped. Boy, somebody had him by the shirt there. And if he hadn't, that might have been a 4 or 5 yard gain. As it is, barely a yard.
And we talked about those 3 rushers for Madison, Nebraska, McFarland, and Deke. Almost 1,500 yards on the season. Well, Morris is leaving, McFarland's leaving. They're both seniors, but Dan Nebraska's going to be returning, and that's good news for Madison fans. Only a junior.
Again, full house. Deke to throw, swings it out. That's Nebraska. He's at the 5 and tripped up and down he goes at the 4, maybe the 3. Corey Comertz was able to get there and get the trip up and keep him out of the end zone shy. The third down and about 2.5, and that should be the end of the first quarter, and it will be. They'll wave the offense off the field. Well, we got 1 quarter in the books. The PAC title on the lead, a lot of playoff implications as well. The Chardon Hilltoppers lead Madison by a score of 7-0. Thanks for watching. This is high school football on GTV. Welcome back to Madison High School. Craig Dees along with Ray Malavic. Tonight is the Chardon Hilltoppers against the Madison Blue Streaks. The Streaks are streaking right now. Huge drive going right now as they've got the ball on the Chardon 2-yard line. Second down, or check that, third down and goal. Full house again. They bring in Walker as the up back in that I formation. Deep back. Nebraska bounces off the pile, falls forward, touchdown. Oh my, good second effort by Dan Nebraska. He was plugged 5 yards short of the end zone and bounced off a tackler and into the end zone he went, and Madison a point away from tying this thing up.
Well, long drive by Madison. You know, time of possession in the first quarter, Craig. Madison, 10 minutes, 11 seconds. Chardon, 1 minute, 49, and yet Chardon led that entire first quarter.
Jim Smith, 19 out of 28 in extra points, has not been consistent. This one is down, that one is up, that one is good, and with 11:55 to go here in the first half, we have a new ball game. There's Madison tying the ball game up 7-7. Hey, tonight's game is brought to you by cable subscribers just like you. That's right, tonight's contest completely funded by cable subscriber franchise fees from Chardon Township, Chardon Village, Hamden Township, and Munson Township. This week's game is part of the GTV programming service made possible by your support. Our other funding communities not participating in this particular program are Burton Township, Burton Village, and Middlefield Village. We look forward to continuing on here with GTV. Will get us into the playoffs, and hopefully we'll be able to continue on there. But we really do appreciate the fact that you joined us here this evening. Got a man down on the field for the Hilltoppers back at the 10-yard line, getting up off the deck. Let's check out and see who that is. And that is Matt Smith, who was walking off, hopefully just a cramp. But a big drive for the Madison Blue Streaks. They churned out a lot of yards and they churned out a lot of time and ran a lot of plays.
You know, Matt Smith was injured in that loss to Lisbon Beaver, 35-6 loss a couple of weeks back, and really wasn't able to play in the Riverside game last week. Supposedly in pretty good shape for tonight, but hopefully that's not that same injury that he had, kind of a high ankle sprain, I believe. That last drive, 12 plays, 72 yards, used up 5 minutes, 51 seconds. Chardon's done it the quick way, 4-play drive, and Madison, remember they had that long drive to start the game, came up with nothing but yellow flags on it. But as we said, 10 minutes to 1 minute approximately just in that first period of possession.
Well, the Hilltoppers will get the football. Going back deep for the Hilltoppers, Jared Polburn. Ben Robinson is back there. John Bell is also back there. They camp out at their 10-yard line. Jim Smith to tee it up. And there's a line driver. That is taken by Robinson across the 20. 25, hops over the 30, and down he goes. Dylan Morris with a big tackle for Madison, but the Hilltoppers get the football at the 31-yard line, and that's a first down and 10. Some pretty good field position to start drive number 2. Drive number 1 was almost flawless. That one started at their 41-yard line, so they're about 10 yards shy of where they started last time.
Hard to believe this is Chardon's second possession in this ball game.
Yeah, second quarter. Alex Pavlik into the ball game as a wideout. You see him at the near side. Morris was on the field. They hand the ball off and straight up the middle. Gain of about 2 or 3 yards on the play. Second down and 8 coming up. Boy, Madison, and it was Joe Deek that was streaking off the field there. Just did get off the field in time.
Hey, a little surprise here that Madison's really moved the ball well through the air tonight. Something they haven't really attempted to do too much throughout their 8 games previous to this one.
John Bell on a keeper will go to the 35-yard line. I've been doing Chardon football. This is my 10th year now. And I'm sure everybody, when I sit down and do a Chardon football, they go, oh, he's back again. But I've learned my lesson when they run this wing tee to keep my mouth shut until I know exactly who has the ball. Because when you try to be on top of your game, chances are you can't. And I know you and I did the North game on the radio, which is a little more difficult to keep your mouth shut because people at home can't see it. But here, I pace myself.
Sit back and let the picture tell itself.
Yeah, I have to. With the ball handling skills of these quarterbacks at Chardon over the years has been outstanding. Again, Bell going to keep it, got a block, hits the corner, and down he will go at the 37-yard line. He put it on the ground, and it will be out of bounds, but Chardon will get the football. Was not been able to be controlled, or did Schussler come up with it? Schussler and Pavlik were both down there. It was hard to see from the bench. But that'll bring up a 4th down now for the Hilltoppers and about 8. And our first chance to see Corey Comertz try to kick it away. Comertz about 31.5 yards a kick so far. Again, McFarland, Nebraska back deep. Clock is running, 9:56 to go in the half. Comertz gets it off a low, wobbly one. McFarland will take it to 36. McFarland gets across the 40 to the 42, and that's where he will go down. And that is where, oh, and Madison coughed it up, and Chardon's got it.
Wow, that was a late one, too. Awful late call there. Seemed like he was down for, what, second or 2 before we saw the loose ball, and then the referee signaling that the Hilltoppers had gained possession. Boy, that was a real late whistle there, I thought.
Yeah, hard to see because of all, again, the bench there was so close to the sideline, whether that ball was just rolling around, and that's why they didn't blow the whistle. They were waiting for somebody to come up with it. But anyway,
you got 2 coaches really letting the referee down there, one on either ear, Craig. Letting them know about that quick late whistle, I should say.
And we've got a flag on the far side, and what do we have? Illegal substitution against Chardon. They must have had 12 men in the huddle to start that thing. The 5 yards, and a 3rd and final timeout is taken by the Chardon Hilltoppers. Jim DePofi now going to come out and try to settle things down a little bit.
Now, I really thought after that first quarter, we got into the second quarter, and everybody's taking a few hits, that we would see, you know, both teams settle down a bit, not as many penalties. But, boy, the second quarter started off very much like the first, and the most action on the field's been the guys in the striped shirts throwing those yellow flags around.
Coming up at halftime, we will have the Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band with their performance. We look forward to seeing that. And Hilltoppers hoping to extend this, or get the lead back and extend it even further.
You know, we mentioned how Madison got to be 7-1 real quick on Chardon's end of the season. They opened up with 3 quick wins over Shaw, Kenston, and Ashtabula Lakeside. Then came that unbelievable loss to Menor by a score of 78-7. And boy, you look at the Chardon team, it's hard to believe that score.
Well, they lost almost as many starters as points that game. It was a rough physical night for them. 1st and 15, Bell under center. There goes Robinson in motion. Bell pump fakes. Looking down the far sideline, there's a wounded duck. That Nebraska goes up and jumps with Jared Polburn, and that is incomplete.
Boy, did Bell get leveled by Craig Walker, the 5'9", 230-pound junior defensive tackle. Clean hit, but boy, he did not see the completion of that pass, neither Walker nor Bell, as Bell was looking up at the sky. But as you said, kind of a floating pass and really had no chance of being completed.
2nd down and 15. They'll run Abram to the far side. Bell will go shotgun now with nobody in the backfield with him. Robinson in motion, they fake it, and Bell going to keep it. Has some blockers. McFarland, he sidesteps him and lunges forward to near the 40-yard line. He'll pick up 7 yards on that 2nd down and bring up a 3rd down and about 7, maybe 8.
Got back to the line of scrimmage plus a couple. You know, we mentioned after that unbelievable 78-7 rout the hands of Menor, Chardon's gone on to beat Geneva, Eastlake North, Riverside. Their lone loss in that streak was to Lisbon Beaver, 35-6.
Double reverse. Here comes Robinson. Up the middle he goes. 30. Inside the 30 to the 28-yard line, and that's another 1st down for the Toppers.
You know, on the way out here tonight, Craig, you told me that I was going to be in for a treat to see a healthy Ben Robinson. And boy, a healthy Ben Robinson is a dynamite running back, no question, a senior. Been set back by injuries. He's rushed for over 200 yards coming into this ball game, which is a good average, too, of over 5 a crack. 7 TDs for number 24.
Bell. Yeah, movement on both sides of the line. Madison moved first, and then the Chardon Hilltoppers moved as well. And the Toppers are going to get called for it. Mike Renzi had just checked into the game, number 34.
Those guys on the sidelines are really.
Another penalty. Brings up a 1st and 15 now.
Clock is running, 8:18 to go in the half. They fake it to Renzi. Actually, they give it to him, and he will fall forward for a yard or two. Tough yard or two. Man, I'm telling you, he gained 2 yards on that play, and it's still 2nd and 15. Isn't it? Renzi ran that. We're in close quarter. We got all kinds of our media friends here. But he just gained 2, and it's still 2nd and 15 according to the yard marker.
Well, forget the yard marker.
Crooked over there.
We're going to go with what we see out there.
That's what we see. There goes Robinson. They snap it to Bell. Bell going to keep it and roll out. Firing, and it is caught. The 22-yard line. That is a nice grab for the Hilltoppers. And that is Corey Comertz who came up with that catch. Comertz will give him progress at the 23-yard line, so that'll bring up a 3rd down and about 4.
We have 3rd down and 4 at the 22-yard line.
They'll split Abram wide, and Bell decides to go shotgun on this 3rd and 4. There goes Robinson again. They snap it to Bell. Bell tried to weed his way around and couldn't do it. Tackle made by Aaron West. West for a loss of a yard. Makes it a 4th down for the Hilltoppers, and A 4-down situation here, Ray.
Big play by Aaron West. He's one of those 3 linebackers that Tim Willis uses on defense in that 4-3. Tim Lemazny also, along with Dylan Morris, but that was Aaron West, senior, 6 foot, 225, with a nice stop. And we're looking at a 4th down and 6 here.
Got all kinds of movement. Now Madison moved. I don't know if they broke the encroachment, and then Chardon moved.
Well, Madison had a back in motion, which is perfectly okay as long as the lineman didn't move, and it's going to go against the Blue Streaks, right?
Wasn't sure. I saw Robinson go in motion. You saw the defensive line from Madison do one of those, they got us on that. So that's a 4th down and 1. Now you got all kinds of different things you could do, especially with a talented quarterback like John Bell who can run.
3 or 4 options here, and they're all on the ground.
Bell will bark it out. You'll run Robinson. There's a fumble, and it'll be recovered by Madison. Dylan Morris comes up off the bottom of the pile. Well, they wouldn't have got the 1st down anyway, so it'll be a turnover, though. Not on downs, but an actual fumble will be the turnover. So Dylan Morris comes up with the football.
You know, that was a crucial mistake there by Chardon. Coughing the ball up on the 4th and 1. You know, they got a real nice break with that penalty, making it, instead of a 4 and 6, it was a 4 and 1. And looked like they would have had a nice hole there to pick up the 1st down, but they coughed it up. The Blue Streaks are back in business.
Halfway through the 2nd quarter, they will hand the ball off to Joe McFarland, and McFarland will pick up about 4 on 1st down. 2nd down and 6.
The last time the Blue Streaks had the football, they scored their lone touchdown in this ball game, going 12 plays to 72 yards. This time they're pretty deep in their own territory, right now at their own 24-yard line.
Deke pitches it back. Nebraska, 35, 37, that's a 1st down. They will stop the clock to move the chains, but they did keep them in bounds. So the Madison Blue Streaks starting to settle in here offensively now against this Hilltopper defense. Moving the ball pretty well the last 2 drives.
Matt Smith was in on the stop there, the linebacker for Chardon.
Good to see him back in that lineup now.
Very active linebacker. We talked about that game against East Lake North. Those were the 2 quickest scores that I had ever seen.
8 seconds between the 2.
You know, I've seen it maybe with an offensive player twice, but you know, the ironic thing there, the unusual thing, was a touchdown on defense followed by a touchdown on offense, or the other way around. But 2 quick scores in 8 seconds. More yellow.
Probably a delay. Whenever the back judge throws the flag, you're going the other direction because you took a little bit too much time. And that's exactly what the call is. So 4:54 to go. We're in the 1st half, and we are tied at 7 apiece. Craig Dees, Ray Malavic, and our usual cast of thousands that brings you GTV football. Chardon Hilltopper
to be with you here, Craig.
It's great to have you.
No,
and then tomorrow night, well, depending on when you're watching this, we'll be at Lake Catholic on Saturday night on the radio. So, doubleheader week for us. They pitch it back to Nebraska. He breaks the tackle, gets across the 35, head down 40, and bulls his way to the 43-yard line. Saw the guy with the chains on the far side, saw that play coming, and did what they're supposed to do. Throw that thing down and get the heck out of the way, because he was going to be a dead duck.
Well, we certainly expected a quick moving game here because both teams liking to run the ball so much, but you know, the penalties have really slowed this thing down. But yet we're still under 45 minutes really since the kickoff at 7, and we're under 4 minutes just about in the 1st half.
Straight up the middle for a yard. That's Dylan Morris. See what they really use this Nebraska. You know, they had him as a wideout this time. They have him in the backfield. They really utilize his talents all over the field. Very versatile performer for the Madison Blue Streaks.
You know, his numbers are phenomenal. We talked about, you know, he returns punts. Got an average of about 27 yards on punt returns. Got an average of 23 yards on kickoff returns. We already said 12 touchdowns, a couple of 2-point conversions.
See if the Chardon D can get it going, and they stop Nebraska shy of the 1st down right at the 45-yard line. A solid yard shy of the 1st down. Great defensive effort by the Toppers.
Now, one thing we didn't mention about Dan Nebraski, a good receiver. 15 of those coming into tonight. 21-point average. So every time he touches the football and kicks, catches the ball, I mean, you're talking about a 20-yard gain, and that's a lot of yardage.
Thomas Ivins led the way for the Hilltoppers there. Now they'll send Ben Robinson, the ever dangerous Ben Robinson, back at his 25-yard line. The punt's a good one this time. Robinson got a backpedal at the 18-yard line. Breaks a tackle, gets across the 20 to the 21, maybe the 22, and that is where the Hilltoppers will take over, first down and 10. Now, we saw the big play capability of Matt Smith earlier on that big play up the middle, and they're going to need it here. The Hilltoppers with no timeouts left, 2:56 to go, plenty of time. And we are still tied at 7 after the Toppers got a touchdown on their first drive. Madison came back and got one on their second drive, and that's been it so far. They go with Bell from the shotgun. That's Robinson in motion. Bell going to keep it. Turns back, not much. Craig Walker was there. Walker, kind of a fire plug looking guy, huh? 5'9", 230.
Quick for that size, very quick.
John Bell looking over to the sideline.
Walker's going to come off the field now.
As we said earlier, John Bell has really matured into this role as the quarterback and the leader of this offense. Putting together a heck of a season so far. He's got one more to go. Here's the snap. We got movement all over the place. Saw the defense from Madison move, but also saw the side of Chardon move as well.
Well, Craig, we've seen a lot of games together this year here in week 9. Hard to believe it's week 9, but it truly is. Season's going to be over, a regular season next week, and what I'm about to say is by far the most penalties in a game that we've seen, and we're still got 2 minutes to go in the first half. 7 penalties for Madison and 5 penalties for Chardon, and we've got 2:08 and counting in the first half.
Bell again will go shotgun. That's Robinson. They hand it off to him on that little jet sweep, and down he goes.
Kind of odd, too, because, you see a team in the first half with no timeouts remaining, so they cannot stop the clock unless they would throw the ball incomplete or out of bounds. Madison pretty content to let it go. They've only got 1 timeout left.
Chardon will get it to start the second half, so, I mean, if you can get down and get a score here, boy, then you get it right back again.
Well, this is a big play here because it's 3rd and 2. If they don't get it, they'll probably punt it away, and then Madison will have a chance with a timeout yet.
That's Polburn this time in motion. Bell up the gut, has got the first down. He put it on the ground. And it is going to be controlled. Coming out of the pile for Madison with the bait football is Dave Bowens, and Madison's going to get it. They will give it to the Blue Streaks at the 39-yard line. John Bell's 7th fumble of the season. And he's hoping that it doesn't come back to hurt the Hilltoppers, because 34 yards out is Madison, 1:13 to go. They still do have 1 timeout left.
That timeout could be a big one because we've got plenty of time here, especially with their field position inside the Chardon 40 at about the 38. 1 timeout, as we said. That's the 2nd fumble recovery by the Blue Streaks. This one, we'll see if it's costly to Chardon.
Deep the throw. Here comes the blitz, and that is incomplete. Threw it in the general direction of Ben Panuski.
Greg Makowski was on the big rush there.
He's almost had a couple of sacks. He's gotten his hands on Deke several times.
Well, he's got a couple of sacks on the season. He's also scored a couple of touchdowns from that defensive end position, so he's active and around the ball, that's for sure. Clock stopped now with 1:10 on the incompleted pass.
They will send 2 wideouts. That's McFarland and Nebraska now. They'll leave Dylan Morris as a lone setback behind Deke, who's going to throw again. fires. That's way over the head, and John Bell with a nice play as he dove in front of Dan Nebraska. I thought that overshot the receiver he was looking for, but looked like Nebraska was truly the intended receiver, Ray, and John Bell with a nice stretched out diving stop.
Yeah, it was a little closer to a reception than I thought it might be, but thanks to a good play by Bell. And again, he's not played a lot in that defensive backfield. Kind of inserted there due to the importance of this ball game by Coach Jim DePofi. So far, he's made a couple of nice plays in the first half.
3rd down and 10. Clock is stopped again with 1:03 to go. We'll go back a little more conventional with a wide out to the near side. Josh McFarland, as Deke goes back to throw, and down he goes. Down he goes at the 45-yard line. Gary Schussler was there. Also, Greg McCoskey was there.
That's about 500 pounds of hilltopper beef on top of you.
Got that, man.
With Schussler with 270 and Mikowski with 225. Yeah, I like the description of Gary Schussler. Schussler, is that how you say it? By some of the area coaches, they call him a true hilltopper. You know what that means? He works hard.
That's right. Bouncing ball picked up by Lamazny. He booms it toward Robinson. He'll let it bounce, and it will come to rest at the 2-yard line with 19 seconds to go. Well, the Hilltoppers will just have to take 2 snaps at the most. Madison chooses to use that timeout to make them snap it again and maybe force a fumble at the 1. They'll call timeout.
Fantastic punt. You know, look, it was taking that Chardon, or make that Madison roll that looked like it might get into the end zone, give Chardon a little breathing room, but boy, it just went out of bounds at about exactly the 2-yard line. So if Chardon's going to do anything here with 19 seconds remaining in the first half, they're going to have to do it almost a length to the field, 98 yards to be exact.
You got to just be able to take the snap and fall down on 2 plays and get out of there, because you get the ball in the second half. Bell under center will take the snap, and he will fall forward. Madison has chosen not to take their timeout, so it looks like we have got 1 half of football in the books already. Well, that was a quick and snappy first half, and can't exactly say it was well played at times, but other times it was ugly, as we had 12 penalties in the first half. But these teams will leave the field tied at 7, so we will start things over in the second half just the way we began, with a tie score. Chardon will get the football to start the second half, and we invite you to stick around for that. But what we do invite you to stick around for right now, and making their way onto the field, it's the Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band, and we'll be back with second half action after the band on GTV.
selection of Debbie Staple and Lynette Hollivek, who would like to feature the Toperettes and Majorettes in a combined routine to The Rhythm Is Gonna Get You in Conga, with captains Lindsay Ramsey, Sarah Costilla, and Melissa Roderick, and Majorettes Christy Morris and Jennifer Blasey. Here is The Best of Gloria Estefan. And clap along with the band to Across the Field. The Hilltop Marching Band would like to thank the Madison staff, parents, and band members for their generous hospitality tonight.
In welcoming the Chardon Band back to the field. They're going to be combining this evening with the Madison Band to perform I Am a Believer. 3 editions of the Madison High School Blue Streak Marching Band and the Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band.
And welcome back to Chardon Hilltopper Football. GTV, Craig Dees along with Ray Malavic. We're getting ready for second half action. We're tied at 7. Great show by the Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. Hope you enjoyed that, but football action just dead ahead here as both teams are getting loose on the field. And well, it's an even Steven game on the scoreboard, Ray. What does the stat story tell us? Is it that even?
Pretty much so. I'll tell you, first quarter dominated really by Madison. Time of possession 10-11, as we said, to Chardon's 149. But in the second quarter, Chardon turned it around, kept the ball for 8 minutes 13 seconds to Madison's 3:47. Rushing yardage for Madison 57, for Chardon 88. For passing yardage, Madison 57.
So well, I thought that was rushing yardage.
They got rushing 57, they got passing 57. So a total of 114. Chardon a lot better with the rush, 88 to only 9 yards through the air. Turnovers, 2 for Chardon, 1 for Madison. Passing wise, and again, we didn't expect to put up Lake Catholic type passing numbers here, but Deke 3 out of 7 for 57 yards.
And that's about as many passes as he normally throws in a game, which is 7.
Yeah, right. We're only through a half.
Right.
Bell 1 out of 2 for 9 yards. He's rushed for 19 yards. That's Bell. Robinson 3 rushes for 17. Polburn just 2 rushes for 6, but one of those was a 3-yard touchdown run. Leading the way for Madison as expected. Nebraska, he had the touchdown run of 2 yards. He's carried the ball 9 times for 41 yards.
Well, so Matt Smith's got to have, what, 40 yards rushing right on that big run that he had.
Well, you know, we got these from our very, very reliable sources from the News Herald, and maybe they just missed that one. But,
yeah. How many yards did Smith have rushing there, Billy? He had to have 40-something, right? 1 for 43. There it is. 43 yards rushing for Matt Smith. Bill Tilton from the News Herald, Mark Kessner from the News Herald helping us out with the stats. We do appreciate that. Hey, if you're tuning in for high school football tonight, we really do appreciate the fact that you're along with us here this evening. And tonight's game is being funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees. We'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's contest, for the year-round support. They are Burton Township, Burton Village, Chardon Township, Chardon Village, Hamden Township, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thrilled once again to be able to bring you local public service programming with a special emphasis on those communities. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to our viewers for their support. The response has been absolutely wonderful.
You know, Craig, the only difference really is how these two teams scored in that first half. Chardon did it, of course, with the quick route, 4 plays, 53 yards, minute 49 on the clock, and Jared Polburn took it in from 3 yards out. Adam Parker added the extra point. And then Madison, on the other hand, used up 5 minutes 51 seconds on their drive. It covered 72 yards, 12 plays. It was a 2-yard touchdown run by Dan Nebraska. Point after was good by Jim Smith. And that was it for the first half, and that's how we start the second half, tied at 7.
Now the Hilltoppers will get the football to start the second half. Polburn goes back with Robinson and Bell. They will be set and waiting for the kickoff of Jim Smith. We are tied at 7. Looking around, it doesn't look like the wind is a factor again here in the second half. The flags are absolutely limp down at the end of the field by the scoreboard.
That's what makes tonight such a perfect night for football. Obviously, we're near the end of October. It's going to be a little chilly, which it is, but little or no wind. Nothing gusting, that's for sure.
And there's an onside kick, and it does not go 10 yards, and it will go out of bounds, shy of midfield. They tried a little pooch kick off to the side. Little trickery here to start the second half.
Yeah, I shouldn't have kept my thoughts to myself. I was going to say perhaps in this half, since both teams played it so close to the vest in that first half, we were going to see perhaps a couple gadget plays, what have you. We still may. And we started one off with an onside kick. Unfortunately, as you said, didn't go the required yardage.
And Chardon's going to get the football
On the 46-yard line, first and 10.
At the 46-yard line of Madison, because it went out of bounds, and that's where they'll take it, right from the spot.
That's what happens on those type gadget surprise type plays. They usually go for something really nice if you're trying it, and sometimes not so nice.
John Bell hands the ball up the middle. That's Smith, stays on his feet across the 35 and down to the 34, and that's a gain of 12 and a first down.
Well, Matt Smith really hasn't been that active offensively.
Touched the ball twice.
Carried once for over 40. And a nice run there. I think he's going to be a little more active. I think that shows also that he's okay from whatever happened to him in that first half. We thought maybe it'd be a aggravation of that ankle sprain he's been bothered with over the last couple of weeks.
First down and 10. One more time, they go to Smith, and he rolls forward to the 31-yard line. A gain of about 3, maybe close to 4 there on first down.
Well, you know, Matt Smith, 10 touchdowns on the season. Came in with 663 yards, good average of 6.9. He certainly improved that tonight.
He has been the heart and soul, or one of the big heart and souls of this team for quite a few years now. Finally in his senior season. Seems like he's been here forever. So second down and 7. This time Bell's going to keep it. Breaks a tackle, dives forward to the 25-yard line. He will be close to a first down, but about half a yard to a yard shy. Boy, actually, they give him a rough spot there. That ball.
Looks like it's down at the 26, huh?
Yeah, but look at the down markers at the 27.
Well, we've had trouble with the down markers throughout this game, so.
Third down and a yard. They hand the ball to Smith. He gets across the 25 to the 24, and that's a first down. Now, we can't blame the guy with the down marker because he puts it right at the heel of the side judge, right? So he's just going to where he's standing where he's told. And it's off. Crooked. Now, though.
Well, it moves now. We got a first down, first and 10. Ball resting at the, called it what, 24-yard line.
So was that a gain of 1 or 2 on that play?
Well, take your choice. First down.
Polburn and Robinson to the wings. It's a first down and 10. That is Polburn in motion. Bell keeps it. Bell to the 20. He'll gain almost 5 on that first down. Boy, you can do that every time. Pick up 4 and 5 yards. It really gives you some pretty good options for the rest of that series of plays.
Well, that's what, really has gotten both of these teams to the position they're in right now. I mean, that good, solid running game. Sure, they break one here and there, but it's usually, like you say, 3, 4, 5 at a crack, move the chains, keep the clock running, a lot of possession. Penalties have hurt both teams in this game, at least in the first half.
A lot of misdirection there. Bell going to keep it. That's a busted play, and down he goes back at the 25-yard line. Lamazny made the play, but that just looked like a fire drill back there, and Bell was hung out to dry, and he will lose about 6 on the play. It'll be a third down and 11.
Now, this takes them out of what they like to be in. They really like to be in that short third down, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2. Now they're pretty much forced to put the ball in the air. Keep in mind, both teams, not much to show on the passing side of things this season.
See if Chardon puts it up on 3rd and 11. 4 down territory, though. Again, they run that reverse, and there is Robinson. Tried to pick his spot and only got back to the 25, a gain of about a half a yard before he was collared. Dylan Morris, among others, there.
Yeah, that's that bread and butter play, the wing T. They give it to that wing back counter against the flow, and it's one thing you got to make that offense work. And of course, they've run this a lot here at Chardon over the years, and Wycliffe runs it, of course, almost exclusively. Keep performers, the quarterback. Got to be very mobile, deceptive with the ball, and very smart.
4th down and 11. No gain on the last play. Bell to throw. Plenty of time, fires across the middle, has a man, Robinson, in and out of his hands. McFarland was on the coverage. I don't know if McFarland got a pinky on that and changed direction of that, but the ball was right on the money. by John Bell.
Had a step, too. It looked like it should have been a score there for Chardon, but it's going to be a turnover on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Madison. They'll move from their own 25-yard line. Once again, we're tied. Chardon with the only points in the first quarter of this game. Madison with the only points in the second.
Almost an identical drive of Madison's first half, down to 7:55 to go. Nothing to show for it. Here's Nebraska. Nebraska just does get to the line of scrimmage before he is brought down. Greg McCoskey is there.
Set the stage again for the importance of this ball game, as we said in our opening. This is for the Premier Athletic Conference Championship as Madison comes in 3-0. This closes out their PAC schedule as they'll be hosting the Vikings of Villa Angela St. Joseph in an independent game in Week 10. For Chardon, they come in 2-0 in the pack, this being Game 3 in the conference, and they'll finish off next week against Willoughby South.
Deke looking to throw, steps up, stays on his feet, and finally does get tripped up. Looked like McCoskey again, who got an ankle tackle on him and tripped him up. He did fall forward and pick up a couple of yards, and it'll be up 3rd down and about 8.
Matt Smith was there to make sure that Deke stayed down.
But Matt Smith, last year the defensive scheme, Coach Boers, is a little bit different because you had Matt Smith, who is going to go limping off the field. He had him almost exclusively, almost right on the nose of the center. I mean, right there. And he would time that snap play from that linebacker spot. And it got caught off sides a couple times, but made some terrific plays just on sheer timing alone. And now he is hobbling, going off the field at the far side. And that's a big hit to this defense. Coming in to play linebacker, Mike Renzi, a 200-pound sophomore with some pretty darn big shoes to fill here on a 3rd down and 8. Deke is going to keep it. Try to get the corner, and can. He lunges forward. He needs to get the ball on the paint stripe of the 35 to be a 1st down. And if they spot it in front of that line, it will be.
Now, if they didn't make it, credit Jared Polburn with a dynamite tackle there, trying to keep him from reaching that 1st down marker. It's close enough that we're going to have our first measurement of the game.
Yeah, if they get it, they need to get the nose of the ball just past that paint line at the 35.
It's going to be spotted right in front of the Madison bench, so they're going to have a better view than you or I at this point. It's going to be a 1st down.
Yep, there it is. That was just reaching the ball out with that hand. You see that a lot these days, these guys with the wherewithal to take the ball out, and it's dangerous because if the ball hits the ground and squirts out, it's not going to be a fumble because the ground can't cause that if the knee's down. But if somebody swipes at that ball before you hit it, that's a good way of losing it, or better yet, you just drop it. Dangerous play, but it pays off as they'll run Nebraska out wide. Dylan Morris up back, Joe McFarland deep back. 1st down and 10. That is Morris. And Morris up the middle with Rob Thompson hanging on, picks up a yard.
Well, you know, look at Madison, the points they've given up this year. Just 79 points, good for under 10 a game, so they're right on that. But boy, their offense side of things, we've given up, or actually scored about 31 points a game, so they're way under their average offensively, but right there on defense. You know, they've scored 34 touchdowns on the season. So far tonight against this tough Chardon team, just 1.
2nd down, 9. Deke keeps it. Up the middle he goes, 40, head down, spins across the 45, and that should be another 1st down. Corey Comert's got the tackle. You know, you look at this Chardon defensive unit, and the amount of points they've given up. They've given up 25 a game, but you've got an interesting stat there. Between 2 games, out of their 196 points they've given up, 2 games have accounted for how many?
113, 78 to Menor, 35 to Lisbon Beaver. Obviously both losses, and those have been the only 2 losses for Chardon.
1st down and 10. They hand the ball off. That is McFarland. And McFarland into Topper territory down to the 46-yard line. It will be about a yard shy of a 1st down. An outstanding play on 1st down of a gain of 9. Yeah, those two games, you throw those out, and the Hilltopper defense just has not given up much at all in those other 5 or 6 ball games.
83 points to be exact, which would be an average of about 13. So, again, those two high-scoring games in which they lost really throws their numbers out of whack. This is the kind of Madison drive that their fans are used to seeing, though.
McFarland, big hole right side, deep into Chardon territory with Robinson to beat. There comes Ben Robinson, and he will drag McFarland down at the 5 and get a little help from one of the defenders in the defensive backfield.
It's almost a 50-yard pickup there.
That was Corey Comerts who sprinted over, and there's a huge gain, and Madison now knocking on the door at the 5-yard line with 4:32 to go here in the third quarter.
Well, that's the one we were looking for. If you're for Madison, are here to see your blue streaks, the one that they break loose. And most importantly, no yellow flags. Yep. Remember, they started this game with a bunch of penalties. They finished off with 7 in the first half. Chardon had 5.
Greg Walker comes in as an up back. They hand it to Nebraska behind Morris and Walker. He will get inside the 5, maybe a gain of a yard on first down. And really important right here, this Chardon defense. Seeing if they can suck it up here and keep Madison out of that end zone. Jim Smith, as we said, 19, now 20 out of 29 in extra points, and that's basically what he would have here. He has kicked 1 field goal. Chardon's going to take a timeout with 3:49 to go. We'll take a break as well. We're tied at 7, but Madison is on the move. You're watching high school football action, Chardon Hilltopper style, on GTV. Well, the Blue Streaks are on the Hilltopper 4-yard line. It's a 2nd down and goal. Hilltoppers still on defense without Matt Smith, as he has gone on to the sideline, but he's not in the ball game right now that I can see. He snuck in there without me seeing him. They get rid of the full house and just go with 2 in the backfield. That is McFarland, right side, touchdown. Joe McFarland goes in from 4 yards out. And the Madison Blue Streaks now with 13 unanswered points against the Hilltopper defense, and they lead it 13-7.
I think it was only fitting that they called Joe McFarland's number, because he had that big run to set that up. 41-yard run, couple plays back. This time he takes it in from the 4, and that puts Madison in the lead the first time in this ball game.
Jim Smith to attempt a point after. Nebraska holds. Kick is up. Kick is good. 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Madison, with a very long, sustained drive, their first drive of the second half, ends up in the end zone, and they have taken the lead over the Chardon Hilltoppers by a score of 14-7. So the Toppers will get it back. Now they find themselves trailing for the first time tonight. Seeing if they can't right the ship here offensively and put something together against this great Madison defense. Has done very well after that first drive. Hey, you know, high school sports is just part of our programming lineup this fall. About to wrap up our fall sports coverage of Berkshire, Cardinal, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, and Chardon sports, but stay tuned this winter as we fire up the cameras for a full season of exciting basketball, wrestling, and gymnastics. Be sure to check GTV regularly for replay dates and times as fall's candidate nights just around the corner, airing this week from Chardon Middle School and live from Munson Town Hall. School fall programs are just around the corner as well. GTV viewers get all this and more. And, of course, our community bulletin board services provided 24 hours a day on GTV channels 22 and 23, depending on when you're watching this ball game. If you're watching it on Saturday night, we welcome you. I hope you enjoy. It's also on again at 9 o'clock on Saturday, so if you're watching it then, you want to watch it again, it's on at 12, 3, 6, and 9 on Sunday. So depending on when you're watching this game, there will be 6 replays of this. You are watching 1 of 6. Stick around, see how this turns out. Smith to kick it off. Robinson at the 10. He comes across the 25, breaks a tackle to the 30, and down he goes hard. And Robinson, though, gives the Hilltoppers some pretty good field position there. Tackle made there by Zach Brown.
Well, Craig, if you followed Madison on the season, you're used to seeing the kind of drive they just put together. That was a 9-play drive, all rush, no pass attempts, covered 75 yards, took up 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and they have taken the lead for the first time tonight at 14-7. But that was typical Madison Blue Streak drive. Why they're 7-1 at the moment.
See if the Toppers can answer. They hand the ball on the jet sweep to Robinson. Robinson with a flag down, gets across the 35 to the 39-yard line, and I think we've got a hold against the Hilltoppers back at the 29-yard line.
Well, this is only the second time Chardon's had the ball here in the second half.
All the way down to 3:31 to go, and holding is the call against the Hilltoppers.
Last time Chardon had the ball, they had a pretty nice drive, but then they turned it over on downs and a pass that into the end zone that we both thought real close to being a touchdown.
Yeah, it was. Holding is the call. They will push it back to the 19-yard line. This is about an 11-yard penalty because they take it from the spot of the foul. So that will make it a first down, and well, now it's closer to 20, not 21. So 20 to go. They'll run 3 to the near side now. Bell with an empty backfield. John Bell runs Polburn in motion, fakes it, keeps it up the middle, big hole, 30. Oh, tripped up around the ankles as he falls across the 35-yard line, but he picked up 15 yards back, maybe even 16 on that play, and was about an ankle tackle away from really turning it into something special.
Actually ended up about near the first down marker around the 40, but pushed it back to where his knee first touchdown, which is just over to 35 at the 36.
That was a cool play because he really put the ball in the gut of Polburn and then just took off straight up the middle. Abram will go to the far side. Now they will bring a running back in behind Bell. It looks like Smith is back into the game, and that's who it is, and he gets the handoff across the 40, and that's a first down all the way up to the 43-yard line. He must have did a little tape job on that ankle and got Smith back in the game, and another first down for the Toppers.
Well, this Madison defense, really has played strong over the last 3 games. You look at their last 3 ball games, they've given up a total of 14 points. And, of course, only 7 so far tonight against a very tough Chardon offensive team. Had one shutout in there. They shut out Riverside a couple of weeks ago.
First down and 10. Bell sends Polburn in motion, fakes the handoff. There's that play again, straight up the middle into Madison territory. Gain of a quick 8, almost 9 on first down. Riverside is really a sad story this year because they're usually pretty darn good, and they are not very competitive at all this year. And teams week in and week out are just handing them their lunch, and both of these teams have taken care of that job already this season. Chardon will come out with a second down and 2. Clock is running, 1:40 to go, third quarter. That's right, look at your watch. This thing is flying by. That's Robinson this time. Bell keeps it. Should have went up the middle, decided to bounce outside, and that will cost him a yard. Back to midfield, a loss of a yard, third down and 7.
Not fooled at all there for the Blue Streaks. Aaron West, the linebacker, had his eye on Bell right from the get-go, and even though he did some nice sidestepping and some good ball faking, didn't fake out Aaron West.
Well, Toppers need a first down. Third down and 3. Smith in the backfield. Hard count. Handoff. Smith. Head down, spins forward, and that's a first down. Oh, a great second effort by Matt Smith. Picks up the first down, and that moves the chains again for the Chardon Hilltoppers.
Boy, that was extra effort there. He was stopped short of that first down marker, but that extra effort pushed him across. And I'll tell you what, we're going to have about one more play here in this third quarter. Really zip by.
Well, we were talking on the way out here today that we, could be 9 o'clock. We might be out of here, and it's going to be close.
Well, that's that 7 o'clock start that the pack runs.
I'm liking that. I don't know what it's like to be a parent trying to get to the game, but up the middle, spinning is Smith, gets across the 40 to the 39. Gain of about 6, maybe even close to 7 there on first down, but Sure does make it nice at the end of the night, doesn't it?
It really does. You know, guess who's, I shouldn't have even thought it. I would say, guess whose ankle seems to be okay, because it sure looked like it. And just as I say that, number 28 is limping again off the field. And this is going to bring an end to this third quarter. A quick one, but Madison liked it.
Yeah, they did. They scored 7 points. They got the lone touchdown. We move along to the fourth quarter. It's the Blue Streaks 14, but the Hilltoppers are moving the football. They've got 7. We'll have the fourth and final quarter coming up on GTV. Second down and a short 3 long 2 await the Hilltoppers as we begin quarter number 4. Craig Dees along with Ray Malavic. Glad you could join us for Hilltopper football tonight on GTV. Jeff and Chris Grau along for the ride, and our executive producer, Super Dave Jevnikar, among our cast of thousands that bring you these games from time to time.
Now you're joking. I counted 922.
There goes Robinson. Bell going to keep it. That's up the middle again. It's open. Bell into the defensive backfield with McFarland to beat. He goes down inside the 10 to the 9 and thought that was a flag, but it's just a beanbag that came whipping in, and that's a first down for the Hilltoppers. Boy, what a couple of great drives by both squads here in the second half. The Hilltoppers putting it together very nicely.
Well, Bell called his own number there, and like we talked about way back when we started this ball game, he's one of the top running backs in the area. If you go by yardage, came in with over 670 yards on the ground, and he well over 700 now.
Thomas Ivins is a lone setback now behind Bell. Ivins, left side, stays on his feet at the 1, falls forward and does not get in. Wow, Ivins took it inside the 1-yard line. That was about as close as you can get without getting a touchdown.
Now, there's a name we haven't called yet tonight. He really has been used sparingly by Jim DePofi this year. He's a senior, 5'11", 205-pounder. He's actually rushed the ball 35 times for 140 yards on the season. But when you throw that up against Bell, who's, like we said, came in almost 700 yards, and then you got Polburn as the main runners. But, boy, he's a hard runner there, and he carried it almost into the end zone. But
Chardon took a timeout there to discuss what they want to do on 2nd and a yard.
Well, Chardon's down to 1 now. 1 timeout left, and in a game that looks like it just might go down to the wire here, that could be very, very important. Madison, of course, with their full complement of 3.
I think they're looking at a little bit of confusion there. If you take the timeout now and you score the touchdown, it's money well spent, right? Thomas Ivins, of course, starts on defense as one of the defensive tackles and has almost 60 tackles on the season. Getting an opportunity in the backfield, backing up Matt Smith, who has been hobbled on and off tonight with that recurring ankle injury. Just trying to find him with the field glasses on the far side.
That's going to be something that the Chardon fans are going to want to continue watching, that injury to Smith, because should they get into the playoffs, he certainly is someone you want to be as healthy as possible.
Now they'll remain with Ivins in the backfield. 2nd down and about a yard. Bell. How do you like that little squat move he's got back there? Bell hands it to Robinson, touchdown. Ben Robinson, 1 yard out. Jet sweep brings the Hilltoppers within 1. So they answer a great drive by Madison. They put one together of their own.
Well, we've had touchdowns of short yardage, huh?
You use the word smash mouth football, and that is putting your chin strap on and just going head to head and see who can run or stop the other team. And so far, the offenses have won the second half so far. As Adam Parker gets it blocked. Oh, boy. You know, you and I were watching Chardon come out to warm up, and Adam Parker was at the one end of the field, and you turned to me and you said, that could be the difference in the ball game right there. Let's hope you're not that prophetic. Let's hope that the Hilltoppers get another opportunity here to get themselves the lead, or at least that, well, they can't get a tie. They'll have to get the lead.
I appreciate you mentioning that, but you know what I really had in my mind is it might come down to a field goal. I really didn't think we'd get an extra point block, but there it was.
That's only the third extra point that Adam Parker has failed to convert on this season. He is 25 out of 28. 9-play drive for the Chardon Hilltoppers. 10:57 to go, and you'd like to say there's plenty of time to go, but the way these teams hang on to the football, they need to get a 3 and out here to get the ball back.
Talked about 9 plays. It actually covered 70 yards in 9 plays, which should have been for that tying touchdown, but the blocked extra point makes it a 1-point Madison advantage. It used up 4 minutes and 41 seconds on the clock, with Ben Robinson taking it in the final yard, but a blocked extra point attempt by the Madison defense has kept Madison in front here, 14-13.
It's the 7th or 8th rushing touchdown for Ben Robinson, his 9th touchdown overall. Adam Parker will tee it up. Nebraska and McFarland are back deep. And it's headed toward McFarland right at the 10. There's the wedge in front of him. McFarland squirts through a hole and gets across the 25 to the 27-yard line, and that's where the Blue Streaks will take over, first down and 10. Well, we'll see if we can get a defensive stop here. Hasn't been a whole lot of that going on lately. Teams, even when Chardon, they moved the ball pretty good between the 20s on their first drive of this half. It's only the second time Madison's had the ball here in the second half, right?
Yeah, the first time was a successful touchdown
I
drive.
missed something along the way, and no, that's it.
Set up by a 41-yard run by Joe McFarland, and then McFarland took it in from 4 yards out. Smith's kick was good, and that is the difference right now in this ball game.
Deke will go with that double tight end set with a full house. He'll hand the ball off to Nebraska. Nebraska with a blocker gets across the 35 to the 36, maybe even the 37-yard line. A solid pickup of 9 on first down.
It's been back and forth, of course. Low scoring, but Chardon with the early lead, 7-0. Madison ties it up, 7-7, a halftime score. And then Joe McFarland takes it in for Madison, puts them up 14-7, and then in the fourth quarter, just moments ago, Ben Robinson, but the kick was no good.
There we go with McFarland, and he is stopped short of the first down. Corey Comertz makes the tackle. Got about half of what he needed. It'll bring up a third down in less than a yard.
And what Madison would like to do right now is certainly, of course, pick up this first down, chew up some more time on the clock, and really put together kind of a drive that they had earlier, which would put this game pretty much out of reach if they can put it together.
They're going to bring out the chains to see. There's an excellent crowd on hand tonight. Looking around the fence, all the Railbirds are out in force tonight. The stands across the way, which is the Chardon side. Boy, oh boy, the whole town's here tonight. They stretch
those
them out.
standing room fans over on the Hilltopper side.
And that's short by about an inch. Well, Chardon's got an opportunity for a third down play for a loss for Madison and make them punt the ball here. Third down and an inch. Joe Deke, decent-sized quarterback at 5'10", 185 pounds, but that big offensive line with Ross Chasko at center and the guards of Golding at 275 and Reed at 265, so take your pick which side you may want a quarterback sneak over.
Isn't it funny, Craig? You got a team that 3 guys we talked about earlier, Nebraska, McFarland, and Deke, have rushed for almost 1,500 coming into this, and somebody needs about an inch here.
That's right. They try to get the Madison crowd up on their feet. They wind up the clock. We're under 10 minutes to go. They dig in. Deke hands the ball off. Something came flying in. They fumbled the ball.
Oh my gosh.
Chardon's got it. I saw something. That was a beanbag that came in. We've got a couple of guys down on the field, but Chardon comes up with a fumble.
Is it clear who carried that ball?
Looked like the middle guy fumbled, and that gives Chardon, oh my goodness, what a turn of events there. Ivins gets the fumble recovery. We just talked about him on that nice play and that his only rushing attempt. Talked about him playing defensive line and comes up big there. Guess who's back in the ball game? Matt Smith. Holborn and Robinson are your wings. Bell hands it to Smith. He is stood up, bounces around, stays on his feet, and is finally upended. Just does get back to the line of scrimmage. Lamazny got stepped on by Smith going by, and he is slow to get up.
Craig, it was Joe McFarland who coughed the ball up on that key 3rd and 1 situation.
That's why on a 3rd and an inch, I just love the quarterback sneak. Behind big guys like that, I mean, great break for the Hilltoppers, but man, oh man, if you're Madison, why don't you just let your quarterback lean forward? Just, heck, a good spot would get you an inch, right?
Eliminates any handoff problems, too.
Bell hands it off. And that's Smith again. He is inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. The clock is running under 9 minutes to go.
In this case, too, it's not like the quarterback's not used to running the ball here. Right. With tonight's game, he's got over 700 yards. And like I say, it comes down to an inch or two. And we're not saying that that's going to be the end of the ball game with failing to pick up that first down. But, boy, it's a big break for the Hilltoppers.
Excellent break. Nobody in the backfield behind Bell. 3rd down and 7. There goes Polburn. They fake it, and he goes straight up the middle, and that time he is stuck. I think Dylan Morris absolutely stayed at home that time, was not going to be fooled by that play, and Morris stuffs the gap. Gain of a few for Chardon. That'll bring up a 4th down and about 4.
Well, a big hunk of the big yardage that Bell's racked up over the season has been on that exact play, that quarterback draw type play where he just stutter steps about 1.5 seconds, and then the next thing you know, it's like he almost hands it off to himself and goes up the middle. But Madison had seen that on film, I bet, 100 times.
Well, they've seen it 100 times tonight, and they finally stopped it. 4th and 4, that's Polburn. They hand the ball to Robinson. Robinson first down inside the 20, 15, 10, 5, down at the 4. Ankle saving tackle, Joe McFarland. Oh,
the
my.
officials went down too, and he wasn't even hit by anybody.
I think he's getting the business from somebody else.
He just gave the safe sign. He was safe sliding in the second at about the 4 there.
Tripped over the 5-yard line. I think that's what happened. Came up and bit him. Now the Toppers with the football at the 4-yard line. Actually, about the 4. 1st down and goal. Oh boy, if they can capitalize on this turnover. Bell squats down. That's got to be painful. Bell to Smith. Smith, touchdown! Matt Smith from 4 yards out. And the Toppers take the lead.
I think officially they're going to call it a 3-yarder. Yep, 3-yard touchdown run.
Not where the stick was. The stick was at the 4. 5-play drive, 38 yards. Man, this Bill Tilton's something else, ain't he?
Yeah, but I like his 3-yard call.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. They're going to still go for 1 here. And they fake it. They throw into the end zone. Jurnacek touchdown or extra point. Oh my. They didn't have the normal kicker in there for starters. Mike Walton, sophomore quarterback, was in there. He took the snap. Jeff Jurnacek, who this week has started working out at tight end, has been getting some time, snuck his way into the back of the end zone. 2-point conversion. Everybody up here is going, what are they doing? Why aren't they going for 2? And they did, and they convert, and now it is a 7-point lead for the Hilltoppers. That's 14 points in a hurry there, brother. 7 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, that 2-pointer is a big one because now it's going to force Madison to score a touchdown, kick an extra point to tie, or run for 2 for the outright win. But Jeff Jurnacek on the receiving end of the pass from Mike Walton.
Talked to Jeff Sr. today before the ball game. Was excited to see Jeff get some time at tight end. So Adam Parker, who is a normal extra point kickoff specialist, was not on the field that play, and I was looking down there trying to figure out who it was because that two-point conversion pass was not the normal guy that we see out there.
Yeah, I just wonder if Madison was aware of that or not.
Now, Mike Walton. I saw the size. Mike Walton stands at 5'11". Adam Parker's 5'11", but it just looked odd out there, and the Hilltoppers get it done. Here's McFarland again at the 11. There's the wedge. McFarland sneaks through it and gets up to the 30-yard line, and that is where Madison will get the football. Well, 13 points, or check that, 14 points in a hurry for the Chardon Hilltoppers. They take advantage of that turnover, and that's what good teams do. And now it's up to them to try to stay tough on defense and get this ball game over with. And I'm looking at the linebacker spot, and I do not see Matt Smith out there. They have decided to keep Mike Renzi in the game. That's McFarland, and he goes down. Tripped up by Polburn.
Tackled by Polburn. We have the ball at the 36-yard line.
Gain of about 5, maybe 6 on the play. It'll be a 2nd down and 4. We're under 7 minutes to go in the game.
Now that last touchdown by Chardon was scored from 3 yards out by Matt Smith, correct?
Yes.
So he was okay for that play, but may have re-injured himself again.
He's back in again.
Boy, he's a warrior.
I don't know what they're doing to him on the sideline. If it's just...
Well, it might be him. You know, the type of kid he is, he just wants to get back in this big ball game.
McFarland with Robinson hanging on, and Robinson drags him down at the 47, and that's a 1st down.
Boy, you know, it's only fitting that going in for that go-ahead touchdown was Matt Smith, because he has played what a really whale of a football game, basically on one leg, at least most of the second half.
Full house, 1st down and 10, 6.5 to go. Deke keeps it into Chardon territory before he's dragged down at the 46-yard line. You know, we talked about a couple fumbles that Madison has had coming into today. They coughed it up 22 times on the season. That's, you know, that's almost 3 a game.
You know, for a team that's, you know, here we are playing for a league title, an excellent shot at getting in the playoffs. That is unusual. But, you know, fortunately, they've recovered most of them.
How many times do you think Chardon's fumbled?
No idea.
29. Oh, there goes McFarland down. Jeff Jernasik with the stop. Junior linebacker having quite a good ball game today. All the way back to the 49-yard line. Now that brings up a 3rd down and 5.
Well, with this clock ticking away, and you know, these teams don't throw the ball, as we've said all along, and as you've seen in the ball game, very hard to stop that clock unless you move the chains or throw an incomplete pass.
Nebraska in as a wideout now. Deke to throw, looking that way, fires, and it's caught. Nebraska got just enough for a 1st down. They're going to call it incomplete. The back judge came in and said he saw it short hop, and that is going to be an incomplete pass.
One official said good. The other official come running in there, as you said, and called it incomplete.
Yep, incomplete, and the Chardon sideline goes crazy.
I think you mean the Madison sideline.
No, the Chardon sideline was very happy.
Oh, okay.
On the far
different
side.
emotions. Both sides went crazy.
Well, you knew that somebody was going to be mad about that.
Right, one team, either blue or white.
Well, the back judge, who stands about 15, almost 20 yards behind the play, came running in immediately, calling that incomplete.
Well, we're going to assume he had a better look at it, huh?
Madison's going for it. It's a 4th down and 4. Deke to throw, looking, has a man, and that is incomplete. That was intended for Josh McFarland. There was some bumping going on with him and John Bell. Incidental contact in the official's eyes.
McFarland was looking for some kind of flag. There was some contact.
There was, definitely was. And the Madison coaching staff on the near sideline, not happy. That may be the understatement of the night. That's 2 plays in a row. And now Chardon with the football And a lot of offensive momentum here. The last 2 times they've touched the ball, they've methodically sent it into the end zone.
You know, and normally with 5:11 to go in the ball game, you say that's a lot of time left for Madison to get the ball back, but not with this ball control offense of Chardon.
Here comes Robinson up the middle, dives across the 45 to the 44-yard line. Boy, oh boy, you just got to love the way they're picking up 6 and 7 at a crack on first down, and really gives them an enviable position on those last 2 plays of that series, you know.
And the great thing, as you say, now they've got 2-3 downs to pick up just 3 yards,
Yep.
which is going to be, 90 seconds off the clock easily.
Matt Smith is back in the backfield. 2nd down, 3. That's Polburn. There's Smith, quick hitter, first down, on his feet, 35, down the sideline, 30. The race is on to the 20, and he's tripped up at the 16 by Dylan Morris, and that's a first down.
Boy, that is a crusher if you're Madison, because once again now a new set of downs, plus getting close to the scoring area here.
Yes, sir.
And a field goal, which would certainly be a possibility here if they do stop them before getting to the end zone, would put that all-important differential to 10 points.
Madison chooses to take a timeout. That's their first of the half. 4:20 to go in the ball game. It's the Hilltoppers 21, the Madison Blue Streaks 14. We'll see how this thing ends right after this on GTV.
Push right line, Joe.
4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the ball game. The Chardon Hilltoppers, after scoring the initial score, gave up 14 unanswered. Now they've come back with 14 unanswered of their own and are staring at another possibility to get in the end zone here all the way down at the Madison 16-yard line. First down and 10, Coach DePofi off the field. I'd be very happy about the way this team has moved the football here in the second half against a very, very good Madison defense.
Well, after they had trouble in that early go, too.
John Bell, lone in the backfield. Now he'll run Robinson, and he'll keep it. Stutter step up the middle, falls forward with the pile for about 3 yards or so on first down. Not terrible, considering there wasn't a whole lot there, but it was just the momentum of the pile that got him 3 yards. Matt Smith now, 11 carries for 115 yards.
On one leg for most of those.
Basically. I'm just wondering if it's truly that ankle now, or if he's getting those cramps that you sometimes get this time of night.
Well, we knew the ankle was
because he goes off today. Like he goes off like he's got a busted leg, and he comes back on.
He comes
not
off
too bad.
like he's not coming back. No question.
Bell squats under center. Man, oh man. Bell going to keep it. Up the middle he goes. He spins around near the 5. Gets down actually to the 7-yard line. Very close to a first down again.
Well, Craig, the Hilltoppers are just about ready to put a big exclamation point on a big, big win. We used the terms big game before we started, and, sometimes we use those too often. But what was at stake here tonight? This is truly one of those big games. You got a PAC championship riding on the outcome, and for Chardon, mostly, solidify a spot in the playoffs.
Smith behind Bell. That's Robinson. Robinson takes it, and down he goes behind the 10. Nice play. Joe Deek in playing some defense.
Madison's frantically trying to call a timeout, and they get it. So they're down to 1 now left. 1 timeout remaining.
The advantage there, obviously they stopped the clock with 2:47. The disadvantage there, now you give Chardon a free opportunity to talk about what you're going to do on 4th down and 6.
Well, it's a field goal possibility. I don't know how the leg strength is of.
Well, there's no wind to speak of, but where it's spotted right now at the 12, be a 29-yarder, and it's exactly what is going to happen here. Adam Parker will come out.
He's got 1 out of 2 on the season. We can quickly check to see how far that field goal was. I've got it right here.
Right on the tip of your tongue. Of course, you've got all this memorized, I'm sure.
Almost. Now we just got to find when he kicked that field goal. Well, it was a 38-yarder.
Yeah.
Back on week 2, so he's got the leg for this one.
Against Kenston.
He's 1 out of 2, and his field goal was from 38 yards against Kenston, a game in which Chardon won 24-14.
And it is Adam Parker out there.
Okay, so I don't think we're going to get
Mike
that razzle-dazzle here. So we're going to try for a, what's the yardage on this one?
Looks to be about a 28-yarder.
28-yarder, so 10 less than he has kicked so far this season.
Ball is down, and that's blocked. Covered by Madison at the 15-yard line. Well, he tried to get a little bit of a line drive on that to try to get some distance. And that thing didn't get about 5 feet off the ground.
Well, that one adds to the second block kick that the Blue Streaks have put together. They blocked an extra point. They blocked a field goal. The only trouble is they still trail in this ball game. At the time they blocked that extra point, they had maintained a 1-point lead. But now they've got to do some moving of the ball themselves. They've got 2 minutes, 43 seconds to do it. Field goal does them no good. They need 6 plus an extra point to tie, or 6 plus a 2-point to win it outright. And they have 1 timeout.
Deke rolls out. Got some blockers, and down he goes back at the 5. Matt Smith, also Greg McCoskey, but Matt Smith was 1 of 2 to get there, and all the way back to the 5. That's a loss of almost, well, about 8. Now they're going to spot it at the 7.
Now, Craig, you've had a chance to see Chardon play this year more than I have. Mine was only that 1 game against North.
That was mine too, buddy.
Okay.
I'm with you every Friday night.
I want to finish this thought here.
Deke to throw downfield, and Robinson on the coverage. Nebraska was the intended receiver. Clock is stopped, 2:07 to go. I want to say one thing about this drive. Assuming they get, if Madison were to go down and score, you and I called a game earlier this season, Lake Catholic and Walsh Jesuit, where Lake Catholic went for 2 for the win with little or no time on the clock and ended up getting it. I don't know if that would happen tonight, but that 2-point conversion really has made it an interesting part of the game, hasn't it?
You know, the key there was when Lake Catholic did it. It was a big win for them against Walsh, but it was early in the season. You got so much more on the line right here, but we're a long way from getting that opportunity.
3rd and 19. Deke going back, steps up, fumbled the ball, and I think Chardon might have it. Matt Smith says Chardon has it, and it is 4th down.
Wow, the way he came out of there was almost like a certainty.
Yeah.
But the referee was still watching.
Joe McFarland
off the pile.
Joe McFarland covers it all the way back at the 4. They need to get to the 25-yard line for a 1st down.
You know, if this was an NFL game, we'd have a timeout with the 2-minute warning, but it's going to run from 2 minutes, and we're under 2 minutes now. 4th and 21,
and they're going for it.
Got to. Yep, absolutely have to.
Chardon still with a timeout.
They got to get out to the 25-yard line.
Deke, who's had pressure on him this drive, goes back, rolls out, fires, lets it fly, looking for Nebraska, off his fingertips and tipped out of bounds. That's an incomplete pass, and the Hilltoppers will take over at the 4-yard line of Madison. And the Hilltoppers staring at win number 7 and the biggest win of the year.
Well, you know, and with 4 yards out, the way they run the football, I very well could punch another one in here. And then the people are going to get up in the morning that knew nothing about this ball game. They're going to see, you know, maybe a 28-14 win for Chardon, and they're going to say, whoa, they handle them pretty well. But, you know, up until that pass, the outcome was really up for grabs here. But Chardon now, you know, all they got to do is just fall on the football. Madison can stop the clock once, and that'll be it. They probably will after this play if Chardon doesn't score. But what a big win for Chardon football here, huh?
Smith is a lone setback. They give him the ball. Left side, keeps on his feet. Touchdown. That's it. Chardon and Matt Smith goes in from 3 yards out. And the Chardon Hilltoppers, 27. The Madison Blue Streaks, 14. What an impressive night of football for the Chardon Hilltoppers. Outstanding.
Boy, Matt Smith, you know what I meant to say a little earlier? He is some kind of football player. I've only seen him twice.
Mike Walton to attempt the point after. Walton gets plenty of distance on that one, and that is off the scoreboard and good. 1:28 to go in the ball game. The Chardon Hilltoppers, 21 unanswered. They lead Madison 28-14. Stick around, one of the remainder of the ball game coming up on GTV. Well, the Chardon Hilltoppers have come to Madison High School, and they have a 2-touchdown lead with 1:28 to go in the ball game. And a game that will solidify them into the playoffs and push them ever closer to a home game in the playoffs, their first ever home game if they should defeat Willoughby South next week as well. But an impressive ball game. Anytime you can come to a place like Madison and win when you're a road team, something else, because this is not an easy place to play. It's not an easy football team to play, and Chardon took advantage of a turnover.
You know, Craig, you look at Chardon's season, we talked about their 2 losses, but, you know, they lost to the #1 team in Division I and to a very good Lisbon Beaver club. So they're a couple of really great teams away from having an undefeated season themselves.
Nebraska, they knock them out of bounds at the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. Good pursuit there by Mike Rose and also Kyle Abram. Well, Madison needs 2 touchdowns in order to get the job done. Josh McFarland will come in as one of the wideouts. He'll spot the football, 27-yard line, 1:20 to go. The Toppers on top, 28-14.
Remember, the end of the 3rd quarter, Madison 14, Chardon 7. And in this 4th quarter, 3 touchdowns by Chardon, plus a 2-point conversion. What a turnaround.
First down and 10, Joe Deek to throw. Here comes Jernasik, and down he goes. Boy, Jeff Jernasik came squirting through a hole, and Deek did not have a prayer there as he goes down back at the 19-yard line.
I wonder if you asked Jeff Jernasik after this one what was his more proud moment, the 2-point conversion catch or that sack, because both really put nails in the coffin here against Madison.
It's had a good ball game. McFarland will split out to the wide side. They'll also send Nebraska out there. Dylan Morris is a lone setback. Deek to throw. Hit as he throws, and that pass is caught. Caught by Nebraska across the 20 to the 23, maybe the 24-yard line. Clock continues to run with 33 seconds to go.
There's not too many times when a completed pass you say is, not a good play, but that one wasn't for Madison because it picked up just a few yards, but forget that, the clock runs.
And Tim Willis opting not to use his 2 timeouts. Here is Deek, and down he goes again. Oh, man.
Is that 28?
That was Matt Smith, who just put his helmet between his shoulder blades and knocked him down for a loss.
28.
And that is the ball game. Chardon Hilltoppers with a big victory tonight as they come to Madison, and as close to a must-win as you can get. They come out here, find themselves down by a touchdown going into the 4th quarter, and score 21 points against a team that doesn't give up that many points in a ball game. They do it in 1 quarter. And the Chardon Hilltoppers defeat the Madison Blue Streaks by a score of 28-14 and solidify their spot in the state playoffs, which is just around the corner and really starting to build some momentum here.
Well, the thing is, as far as the PAC championship, Chardon is certainly in the driver's seat. But keep in mind, their game next week is a PAC game against Willoughby South. So should South pull an upset, and the game, of course, will be at Chardon, you got Chardon at 3-1. Madison's done now, 3-1.
Right.
So they're tucked in there. So, this is a big one for Chardon. They'll take it, no questions asked, but they'll have to win outright next week at Chardon to be the outright PAC champ.
But as Chardon football, the PAC's nice, but Chardon football revolves around the state playoffs, and they are headed that way. Congratulations to Jim DePofi and his staff on an outstanding effort tonight here at Madison High School, as the Chardon Hilltoppers have won this game by a score of 28-14. Well, that's going to do it from here. Our thanks to Chris Grau, Jeff Grau, our executive producer, Super Dave Jevnikar, and our usual cast of thousands. For my partner, Ray Malavic, I'm Craig Dees saying so long from Madison. The final again, the Hilltoppers 28, the Blue Streaks 14. We'll talk to you soon, hopefully, right here on GTV.